Chair of the People's Sanctuary Internet, Chair of the IEEE Technical Committee on Sustainability, and Woman of the Year finalist. Mei-Lin.
Because I'm short, I usually stand on the side. So I'm really happy to be here. And when we talk about data, it's a kind of unknown concept out of the people who have been exposed to computers. Last week, we had a talk by Alan Kay, one of the computer visionaries. And this talk was inspired by a mother in Cambodia. Why? Because she was the mother of an AI product manager. Her son was born in Cambodia. She sacrificed everything so that he could go to MIT and study. And then he has been working, his name is Meng Heng. He's been working in the Silicon Valley as an AI product manager. When he goes home to Cambodia, he asks his mother, "Do you know what is data?" And he says this in Khmer. And she says, "No, but I think they have a more modern Khmer word for data." So this is what is happening all around the world, that the whole idea of what is data, what is the name for it in all of these languages. We are living in a world where we're trying to make rules for something that people don't even have words for in some places. So let's go back to land, because I want to take the analogy of land rights, land property rights, to data rights. There's a saying about 400 years ago that God made the earth, but the Dutch made the Netherlands. Why? Because in Europe, you know, there were kings and feudal lords, and they kind of conquered the territory, and people had to work their farms and give them most of their crops. But in the Netherlands, nobody claimed that land because it was swamp, because the ocean came in. But the Dutch, they built dikes. They protected the land so that they could grow food on it, so that they felt ownership of that land because they claimed it, they worked it. And in fact, when Louis XIV came to attack, I always think of this with Gail because he's Belgium. The Belgians now speak French because Louis XIV took over the Belgian area. But the Netherlands people, the Dutch, fought for the land. They fought for the land because they made it. Land rights and property rights have been evolving over the last 400 years. There's a famous economist from Latin America, Hernando de Soto. He has been saying that because you don't have established land rights in many areas, that the title of the property is not clear, people can't use that land to invest in what they could be doing. Now, that's happened to land. Let me tell you another story about land. Native Americans believe that the earth, fire, sky, it belongs to everyone. And when people came in and said, "Who does this land belong to?" they said, "It belongs to all of us." Well, those people said, "Well, if you're not claiming it, I'm writing my name as the owner of this land." That happened over and over again, and the end result is a terrible blot on US history called the Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears were where the Native Americans were forced from their lands, which they had lived on for hundreds of years, because they did not realize the importance of establishing their legal rights. Because in their culture, this idea of writing things down and somehow you own it, it wasn't part of what they understood. Eventually, they understood there's a legal system in this Westerners that have come in, and you need to establish your legal ownership. So they went to fight in the courts for their legal ownership of their land. They lost, and the result was the Trail of Tears. I'm here speaking because data, the idea of data is, and the legal framework for data is evolving now. Data is very, very different from physical goods. Knowledge is something that when you divide it, it multiplies. When you divide land, you get a smaller part of it. So how we share and learn and multiply knowledge really depends on the legal structures that we use to define data. And these definitions have to be worked out and will be worked out in the lifetime of people listening to this talk. A lot has to happen, so don't accept that somebody knows. No one knows. Last week I was at the launch of the UN AI report. But the message I took away is we are at the beginning of a very long journey. But what's important is that future generations can benefit from AI and from data. But we have to work out how to do that. We don't want to have another Trail of Tears. There are 430 language families in the world. Most AI is trained on 4-5 languages. What's happening to the 425 other languages?